Hey guys, Chris here for Thoman's Guitars and Basses. In today's Guitar Tech Tips, I will show you how to diagnose setup issues on your guitar. In this series, I want to show you how to set up your guitars and how to fix the most common issues without using too many special tools. This time we're doing something different. Radically different, because I don't know what we are exactly doing. I know that this guitar has some issues with the setup and it frets out on the 14th fret, especially the high E string, which is not good. So the owner is worried about the guitar and wants to have it set up with a really low string action. Right now, the high E string is around 1 millimeter at the 12th fret and the low E as well, just a bit over 1 millimeter. So he likes super low action. He uses 10 to 52 strings and he wants the guitar to be playable again. So I will take you on this ride with me. We'll try to figure out what's the problem with the guitar, how to fix it, and yeah, we'll see what's what. The owner didn't say anything about the jack, but the first thing I realized is that it's a bit sketchy, right? So this is what comes out of the guitar if you move the cable plugged into the jack. So that's something that needs to be fixed, of course. The solder joints look perfect on the jack, so that's not going to be the issue probably. It's more likely that this part that locks the jack into place is not tight enough. So I'll try to bend this just a bit and see if that helped. Seems to work. Now it's time to check out the neck setup and the neck relief, string height, etc. What I realized is that the strings are super low and the owner told this is exactly how he wants it. And normally this guitar would work with like 1 millimeter string height at the 12th fret, like both E strings, which is John Petrucci kind of deep, but you know, it's his taste and it's totally fine. First thing to do is to check the neck relief. I will push down the first and the last fret on a number of strings to see how much of a bow there is in the middle, or if it's dead straight, because for such a low string action, you want the neck to be like almost straight, not completely, but almost. That's too much. So with the B string, same thing. Pretty much everywhere. It's just a little too much relief. So let's adjust the truss rod first. Much better. And now finally I arrived to the point where I can figure out what the reason is for this fretting out, which happens on the high E string at the 14th fret. It's way better on the 13th and way better on the 15th. So I'm guessing the 14th fret is gonna be too low or the 15th fret is gonna be too high. Let's check it out. I'm checking the fret height with the fret rocker. In case you wonder how this works, we have an episode where I explain everything, I show how it's done and how you can check the fret height. The link is gonna be in the description box. Okay, the 13th is definitely higher than the 14th, which doesn't help but shouldn't cause the issue at the 14th fret. This should cause the issue at the 12th fret. And it does. Interestingly enough, the 15th and the 16th fret are not taller than the 14th. So this fretting out at the 14th fret is not caused by the 15th and the 16th fret, obviously. It's just probably because of this very low string height. Just to be 100% sure that the fret job is good and the frets are even and that the neck is not twisted, I will look down the edges of the neck on both sides. There's one more actually very important but simple thing I can change on the guitar, and that's the strings. These are so rusty and old. No wonder weird things happen. I'm guessing the intonation is completely off, and it just feels super sticky. And I could even imagine that with new strings, you don't really have that much of this fretting out because they just don't vibrate in such a destroyed way. They are way stiffer and obviously not corroded. So let's do that. Oh, and while I'm doing it, I will definitely clean the fretboard and the guitar because it's nasty. Okay, now that everything is clean, the frets, the fretboard and the strings are gone, I can do a second check on the fret height. I will check the 13th fret because in the middle segment, right under the D and the G string, it was a little too tall. And I cannot believe that the 15th fret is perfect. Like the height is perfect all through its length. So I will check it as well. Just as I expected, the 13th is too tall right in the middle, and the 15th as well. It's not too bad, but it's probably enough to fret out the E string if you pull it up with your bend. So I'll have to file these two just a little bit lower with a fret crowning file. But because I just cleaned the whole guitar, including the fretboard, I will mask it between the frets to keep it clean. Note that I'm only filing in that region where the fret is too tall. All right, it's time to put on new strings and take it for a test ride. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions left. I'd also love to know what you want to see in this series. Don't be afraid of setting up and fixing your guitars yourself. It's time to become your own guitar tech. Immer. Einmal will ich cool sein. Nope.